All right, NBC, let's continue our reporting on Andrea Mitchell. Now, I am proud of this. So on Monday, actually February 17th, all right, she said that Governor DeSantis in Florida didn't want to teach the kids about slavery. Roll the tape.
What does Governor Ron DeSantis not know about black history and the black experience when he says that slavery and the aftermath of slavery should not be taught to Florida school children?
Well, he didn't say that. So I was, and again, my staff did a search. The only one on television, the only one who called out Andrea Mitchell. No one else, even on the conservative networks. I'm going, what's happening here? Now, the Washington Examiner did write a story about it, criticizing Mitchell. So NBC panicked, and boy, they're in trouble over there. And they forced Mitchell to issue an apology. I guess, roll the tape.
In my interview last Friday with Vice President Harris, I was imprecise in summarizing Governor DeSantis' position about teaching slavery in schools. Governor DeSantis is not opposed to teaching the fact of slavery in schools, but he has opposed the teaching of an African-American studies curriculum, as well as the use of some authors and source materials that historians and teachers say makes it all but impossible for students to understand the broader historic and political context behind slavery and its aftermath in the years since.
No, it's just gibberish. Word of the day, gibberish. So DeSantis, his people tweeted back, quote, "Once again, Andrea Mitchell is imprecise in her description because she relies on unnamed historians and teachers. Florida statute requires the teaching of slavery and its aftermath. We just know that queer studies has nothing to do with Jim Crow," unquote. Okay, and that's true. I mean, look, if you're going to teach African American studies, you can't bring in activists. You got to bring in historians, because the activists are going to tell the kids the white people are bad and the slaves are responsible for the economic success of America today. What slavery did and what happened back then dominated our whole country, and the slaves are responsible for what the United States of America has become economically. I mean, now, if you're 7, you're sitting there, you don't know. So that's the activist position, the 1609 Project. It's ridiculous. I can't wait for you guys to read my upcoming book, Killing the Witches, because we get into this, all right, on how the young America, like we take you on the Mayflower, developed without any doubt. I mean, there's no doubt. Our research is so crisp here. But anyway, I know what happened. And I know that the activists are being ridiculous. And I know that Andrea Mitchell believes the activists and wants them in the classrooms. And I know that NBC News has no problem with Andrea Mitchell or any of this. And that's why I say they're the worst. Let's be honest. They're all bad now. You're not going to get the truth from any of them. You're not. And if you don't know that, there's nothing I can say. But NBC is the worst. And I feel bad for my pal Lester Holt, who I worked with at WCBS TV in New York on the local front. Lester was a hell of a reporter. He was good. And I don't think he's responsible for the direction NBC News, in fact, I know he's not. That's management, Comcast, Philadelphia-based. But Lester's to sit there and listen to this. And essentially, Lester Holt is an honest man, in my opinion, and I know him. Now, the others over there, I'm not going to mention, and Andrea Mitchell is way out there, way out there. But I know Lester, and he's got one of the most powerful positions in the world. And if it were me, could I walk away from that? I would, but it would be very, very hard to do that. I don't blame him for staying.